Good evening, fans, and welcome to the first edition of Dragon Sword's Den. I am the Dragon Sword. I've been here for 20 years. I once used to call WBBW 1240, and I called myself the Dragon Sword in the fan forum. And I noticed most of the Mahoning Valley could not stand me. It was 70-30. But over the years, I learned to run the board there. I had talk there, and I went away for a while. But now I realize that I really like doing this and entertaining people because I listen to talk shows all the time. And most of them do the talking. If you ever listen to a wrestling show, they're busy doing talking and they never take any phone calls from anybody. So I am here to put a platform out for AEW, WWE, whatever you want to talk about. I'd also like to send a thanks to Damon Amendola on CBS Radio. From 6 in the morning till 10 in the morning, him and Sean Mraz put on one great show. Uh, First, I'd like to talk about AEW right now because it's red hot down there. With the CM Punk situation, he quit, he took his ball and went home again. He had a scuffle with Kenny Omega and I can't even think of their names, the Young Bucks. He had a scuffle, a real bad one with them. They got suspended. They're back now after the investigation. During this time, MJF has blossomed. Uh, when you listen to him talk, you get a little Jericho because he was with Jericho. He learned from Jericho. He's got a Shawn Michaels aspect with the microphone. Very quick-witted like The Rock. He's very entertaining. And right now, he is in control. He's in control of AEW until 2024. And he has the balls to say it till the bidding war starts. And he is going to be one of the highest paid wrestlers by then that you have ever seen. There's no telling the amount of money that he's going to ask for to stay in AEW. And the WWE is a billion-dollar company. They can match anything AEW puts up. So it's going to be really interesting to see. I had some videos that I was going to play for you guys, but I'm still working on the dashboard because that's just me. And if I go and do anything else, I might pop off the air, and I don't want to do that while you're listening. So what I'd like to do right now is give you my opinion on a match, a dream match. And the WWE has a talent in NXT that could match MJF with the microphone and wrestling. A match that I would like to see. And that's Carmelo Hayes versus MJF. That would be a very marketable match, and especially in 2 years when they get 2 more years of experience under their belt. But right now, MJF is, like I said, is in control. Last night when he hit brass knuckles to Regal, who's going to the WWE, but he has to wait. I think it's a 3-month cool-off period before he can actually go. When he's leaving, his contract runs out in December. At least that's what everybody's reporting. But usually when a wrestler leaves, that's how they put him out. They, put him out to pasture. He hit him with his own knucks after he brought him up. It was a good betrayal. And AEW is good at the storylines where the WWE is struggling a little bit, but the bloodline is carrying them through. The bloodline is so popular everywhere they go. The Usos, and when they added Sami Zayn, he even makes people break character. He made Jey Uso break character at SmackDown, and it was pretty funny because they were all cracking up when he said, "Are you feeling Usy?" That just came to the top of his head. And I had a conversation with him quickly on Twitter. He laughed at one of my comments, and he said that's his job, to make them laugh and then entertain the audience. So that's one of the dream matches that I would like to see. I'd like to see Carmelo Hayes versus MJF. Do you have any dream matches that you would like to see? Because it looks like CM Punk ain't going to WrestleMania. I don't think they're going to take him back. I really don't. There's still some bad blood boiling there. And if you look at it technically and you read the defamation lawsuits that were involved with CM Punk, CM Punk lost. People think that he made money and just walked away. He lost money because the WWE could hold him up forever. They have their wrestlers. When you ever see their wrestlers leave, you don't hear much about them because they're not allowed to talk. They're under contract too. Some of them. I heard a rumor that they signed lifelong contracts. Vince McMahon had made them all, so most of the wrestlers do, so they can't use that character anymore. So you have that, and you have WrestleMania popping up. AEW, one of the things I want to say about them growing as a company, everybody says they hired too much talent. In my thought, Tony Khan is starting to get it because he's learning in the business. He's just young like Vince McMahon was. But he's starting to take all that talent and put it in different cities. They're not all together, like they're out on the West Coast and they're on the East Coast. He's splitting them all apart and doing house shows all over the country, which is a good idea. If you want to make money and you're a smaller company and you took I think he says he has almost 150 people on the roster, you cannot put that on in 3 hours. That's where the problem is there. You can only put your main talent on. And, MJF is, like he just said last night, who's he going to wrestle down there? John Moxley's one. I can't think of any others that you guys might come up with for me, because particularly I didn't watch AEW until a couple of people told me, what was going on down there. So I started reading and watching about it. But I was impressed. I was very impressed with some of the stuff that they're coming up with, some of the stunts that they do. The WWE just had War Games. I was all right. I wasn't what I really. If you go back 20 years ago and you've seen War Games in WCW, there was blood. There was everything under the sun. There were baseball bats with barbed wire. There were broken glass. There was everything inside War Games in those two. I think Sting and Ric Flair were bloody messes during those days. That's what War Games is. When you go in a double cage like that, and you call it, and they have the song for War Games, Devil Gathered in Their Masses. You have to put on more than what they did. They're stuck on tables and chairs. And it's always that. That's always a table or a chair. They used to have all kinds of stuff that, when they had those kind of matches. But since, somebody said to me the other day, they're PG rated, but yet they're being sponsored by an R-rated show this Christmas. This Christmas movie that's out is exactly R-rated. So they have to pick their spots. And I think Triple H is getting it. Shawn Michaels is getting it. We'll have to wait and see how much, Shawn Michaels' new idea coming up in, I think, December 11th or 10th is a wrestling match that NXT is going to put on for the next contender for the belt. And it's kind of like a hockey match. You get pinned, you get punished for 5 minutes. I don't see how they're going to be able to pull that off in that length of time unless each member, it's going to last an hour long, each match between the women and the men. You're just going to have those two matches, and that's going to be it. Secondly, I think The Rock made a comment the other day about returning to the WWE. I don't know if I want to see him and Roman Reigns again. I mean, or even before. I think they're going to build up to Kevin Owens again. And, if they do, I just think Reigns is going to hold on to the belt for another year. So that's some of the things I have. As I go on, I'll get more information, but the NFL, too, I'll have to call it short tonight because the computer's overheating. So I will be back on in 2 days at 7 o'clock. Once again, Dragon Sword out.